All right, today I want to talk about Vince Gironda's meat, eggs, and water diet. Now, I know you're thinking, I thought Vince Gironda's diet was called steak and eggs, and it was, okay? Vince Gironda was a bodybuilder back in the 50s, okay? And what he did was he went on a diet based upon some researchers who were actually up in the Arctic, okay, the Arctic Circle, and they went for months at a time where they had absolutely no plants, okay? So he read the nutritional findings from how they were living, how they were surviving, being healthy, not getting scurvy, but still not eating plants, and he based his diet upon them. He went 9 months to get ready for a competition. I believe it was just called World's Most Muscular Man. I mean, this was a long time ago, okay? The IFBB, the Universe, the Mr. Olympia, none of that stuff was around back then. So he went for 9 months eating 3/4 of a pound of steak and 3 large eggs twice a day. That's all he ate, okay? He stayed on it for 9 months, and he says he felt great. He got in the best shape of his life in terms of lean muscle mass definition. And he said towards the end, not only was he losing fat, but he was actually building muscle at the same time. So that was the steak and eggs diet. Then there was like steak and eggs 2.0, which is where he decided basically, okay, add a leafy green salad at your evening meal, okay, for the fiber, okay? So that was the next generation. Then, after a while, it became known as the meat, eggs, and water diet. And that's what I want to talk about today, because I get a lot of questions about what foods you can eat on the steak and eggs diet. Okay, because a lot of people don't eat red meat. Some people think it's too expensive. I've done videos about how you could eat the steak and eggs diet for less than $5 a day, okay, which is less than one Happy Meal drive-through thing at a fast food restaurant. Some people, however, talk about how it's too expensive. And another thing that people talk about is they just don't eat red meat. Okay, I got a comment on one of my videos just a couple days ago. He said, hey, I know it's called the steak and eggs diet, but just a question, can we, eat other meats? So this is the issue that you have. When you say meat, eggs, and water diet, it means you can eat as much or as little of whatever kind of meat, eggs cooked however you want, and drink water. You have those meals twice a day and you're going to lose weight. Now, the issue is this, however. I'm just going to make a comparison. 8 ounces of 80% lean ground chuck, okay, ground beef, has 576 calories, 38 grams of protein, okay? 8 ounces of round steak has 320 calories, 52 grams of protein, okay? 200 grams of chicken, which is a little bit less than 8 ounces, but it's almost 8 ounces, has 220 calories, 47 grams of protein. Okay? So what we're talking about is the same mass, but depending upon the cut, we're talking about whether it has more or less fat. For instance, like I said, 80% ground chuck has 38 grams of protein, 45 grams of fat. Okay? Chicken has 47 grams of protein and 3 grams of fat. Okay? So what we're talking about is when you don't eat carbs, you need fat. Fat is what your body's going to be using for energy. Fat is what your body is going to be using for calories. Okay? So if you don't eat red meat, especially if you don't eat fatty red meat, you're going to have to be careful that you get in enough fat. That's the reason why if somebody were to eat, let's say, a half a pound or 3/4 of a pound of fatty hamburger meat twice a day, they'll feel fine. If somebody were to go ahead and eat half a pound or 3/4 of a pound of ground turkey or ground chicken, they might be having issues because that's mostly protein and it's not a lot of fat. They'll have problems with getting enough energy, okay? So, and another problem is it's really not easy to stay satiated. One of the good things about a high-fat diet is the fat keeps you full, okay? It keeps you from getting hungry. So it's a diet where you'll lose weight, but you're almost never hungry. So those are some of the problems that you have when you substitute beef. Now, you can also eat eggs. So what I would suggest you do, if you wanted to go on the steak and eggs diet without steak, is eat whatever kind of meat you want, eat as much as you want, okay? But make sure you eat enough eggs. And the reason is eggs also have a lot of fat in them. So you might want to eat a little bit less meat and a few more eggs. Okay, for instance, I was looking through like Muscle and Fitness a while ago, and there was a guy, he was a musician. I think he played guitar for a couple of bands, like rock bands that I actually kind of recognize, so I probably should know his name. But anyway, he was talking about how he got in shape. One of the things he changed was his diet. People were telling him when you're on the road, you're not going to be able to stay on your diet. And he said, what is it? Like, what's the big deal? He's on a ketogenic diet. He's like, what's the big deal? After a show, he goes to the nearest Denny's. He orders 12 scrambled eggs, no cheese, no condiments, and he just eats 12 eggs on a plate, 12 scrambled eggs. And that's his diet. And he lost a lot of weight and he sustained it. And like I said, when he's on the road, he sustains his weight as well. So like I said, that's the kind of thing that I suggest that you look into if you don't want to eat red meat. You've got to get your fat from somewhere. Okay? Chicken and fish have very little fat. So eat as much chicken, as much fish, as much whatever kind of meat you want. However, make sure that you're never hungry. And if that means eating a whole lot of eggs to get the fat content from the eggs, then do that. And if you're still having a problem by not eating beef and still having a problem with your energy, you might have to switch over to a different diet because, like I said, just eating fish and just eating chicken is certainly not going to give you enough calories and enough fat to just like be sustainable. Okay. However, like I said, if you do increase the amount of eggs you eat, that is one way to possibly make up for the lack of fat in the meat that you're eating.